As the Kansas City Chiefs took the field on Friday for training camp, I will talk about a key contributor on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. But before we do dive into that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, as I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's jump into some of this action. One of my favorite positions to focus on throughout camp, of course, is the wide receiver position. Now, it's because it is a position in need, and also too, it's one of the fanciest skill set positions to watch in training camp. And so far, Juju Smith has been the one who's been catching eyes throughout this camp session, looking like a #1 receiver. But today we got a highlight reel catch from Skyy Moore. Now, it could be up for debate if that's the best catch of camp so far. I don't know. Juju had one good one a couple days ago, but this one is definitely up there. What I'm very happy to see from Skyy Moore is that he is getting more involved in the offense too. Yesterday we saw some of his quick releases and some of his nice footwork off the line. Even though he wasn't getting the ball, you could tell, like, just for his route running ability as a rookie, it's something deadly to see, and something that it can be enhanced throughout his career too. So to see him know that much in just being a rookie is scary to see. Because like I mentioned in my prior video too, usually rookies don't know their footwork, route tree, anything like that coming into the league. For him to have a quick head start is very impressive. And then the catch that we've all probably seen throughout social media, very, very good. I want to say Chad Henne threw him the ball. Correct me if I'm wrong, but ball placement was very good too. He had a defender draped on him, and he just basically made a diving catch for that play. Very, very nice. And that's going to be the type of plays Kansas City is going to want to see from him throughout the season. Do I know if we're going to see that early on? I would say I highly doubt it, because if I'm going off past experience and what Kansas City does, and I've mentioned before too, Kansas City doesn't tend to play their rookies earlier on. But like I mentioned, this could be a different year, because this is the year KC is going to have to solely depend on these rookies. Now, with these receivers, huge question marks everywhere. You got Juju, who's coming into a new system off of an injury. He looks completely healthy. He looks like a baller. We'll have to see how that translates onto game day. McCall Hardman, this is a contract year. He's going to be fighting for a lot. I'm banking he's going to have a good year too. Then you got MVS, been solid throughout camp, been solid in the offseason, has that core connection with Mahomes. There's been high hope for Josh Gordon too. And then you got Skyy Moore, a rookie who's learning the playbook, but could be something in the future and maybe something this year. We'll just have to see how that all pans out. I have high hopes for Skyy Moore. I even have high hopes. I was looking into betting odds for him to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. If you want to take a bet like that, if you put $10 down, you win 120. So you already know how to multiply your money there. You can win a lot of money on Skyy Moore. And honestly, too, if you wanted to choose the Offensive Rookie of the Year, why not go for a receiver who is an offense who likes to spread the ball around? And if Skyy Moore gets the chances, he has a chance to be a Rookie of the Year. Now, I have mentioned a lot of things too, because this one was also up for debate with Skyy Moore too. A lot of Chiefs Kingdom, they are huge fans of George Pickens. I'm not going to disclude myself out of that either. I'm a huge fan of George Pickens as well. Actually, he was one of the guys I wanted to draft. Honestly, if it was between, I wanted either George Pickens or Skyy Moore. Those were my two top receivers at the end of round one. They were both available to KC, and then KC traded back, of course, and they put themselves in a position to still get Skyy Moore. But honestly, the more you look at it, and no pun intended, Skyy Moore fits this offense perfectly. Like, just look at the receivers that have come through KC in the Andy Reid system. Nothing to slight George Pickens. We know he's a highlight reel. We know he can make huge plays. But Skyy Moore fits everything Andy Reid wants to do. And then when you look at the decision, it just makes more and more sense. He's the type of receiver they want. He's the type of receiver who they're going to basically game plan for in the future in the next 2 to 3 years. Hopefully it's rookie year. I'm really hoping he busts out of the scene. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. I have high expectation for Skyy Moore coming into this season. And when I mean high expectations, I'm not going to talk out of the woodworks, like of 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. I think that's unrealistic. But then again, I don't know what type of plans they have for Skyy Moore. What I will bank on is, when's the last time a #2 receiver has had 700 plus yards and 8 touchdowns? I think McCall Hardman was pretty close last year. I think he did crack over 700 yards. I'm not quite sure with 8 touchdowns. You can stat correct me. I would love to see it. But maybe that's a realistic expectation. We haven't, just let alone a rookie, we haven't had a #2 wide receiver show out. this is the year where KC is going to spread the ball around. I want to see a number 2 wide receiver get close to 1,000 yards. And now I know a lot of people are going to mention, well, the case is because Travis Kelce is basically your number 1 and then Hill was your number 2. I get it. I understand that. But I still think KC can get a 3-headed monster where you can have 3,000-yard receivers. I think it's very possible. Let's say Kelce does what he normally does. Let's say Juju gets back to his early day self. It's crazy to say Juju early day when he's only 25 years old. But let's say he gets back to that 1,000-yard receiver. Let's say you can get, I don't know, a McCole, maybe a Skyy. Josh Gordon, yeah, now I'm reaching. But let's just say they can get to that 750 plus to 1,000. This offense would be prolific then. And that was something, even though it's out of the reach, it's something I don't really think is unrealistic. You let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling about that, but I really believe in this system. They can have 3 1,000-yard receivers in this system for the offense. I think it's going to be completely different, and I think with the ball being basically matriculated, you know, that big fancy work down the field, anyone can eat, and if you make plays every Sunday, your stats will go up. But I'm very glad to see Skyy Moore getting involved, and hopefully that just keeps, going day in and day out, where he basically builds that trust with Mahomes, and then early season success, I would love to see it. Now let's talk about a guy who I don't want to call it really gets disrespect, but he's not getting respect either. Well, he's getting disrespected by Madden because they had his rating as a 68 overall. But Willie Gay. Now I know he is basically bouncing back. He had a decent year last year, and then the year prior he had an unfortunate injury. But Willie Gay doesn't get that talk, that media talk, or even that Kansas City Chief media talk that we would and should expect. When we normally talk about linebackers, we talk about Nick Bolton, which we should. He should be the headline of discussion. I'm not going to take that out of the question whatsoever. But then we jump to the rookie Leo Chenal. Then some of us here and there will mention Willie Gay. But he's usually that third guy we're talking about, and it's because we're excited to see Leo Chenal. We know what kind of player he says he's going to be, an aggressor, a hard hitter, and he's going to be that type of stud. And we've seen it even in camp where you could tell Leo Chenal just wants to hit someone. But Willie Gay, he's probably our most athletic linebacker, and he proved it today, basically taking an interception off of Mahomes, 95 yards. Man, he showed that speed, and he has a little size to him too. For someone that's in his position, where we talk about Nick Bolton is a thumper, we talk about Leo Chenal's a thumper, and then when you look at Willie Gay, we just think straight athleticism, and he can make a play on the ball. But also too, with that size he has, he could be a thumper as well. And I'm really excited to see this linebacking core. I do not know if Leo Chenal will be the day 1 starter, week 1 starter to solidify that core. But I do know in the future, this is a scary young linebacking core. And I think Willie Gay is going to take a huge step. I know we're all focusing on Nick Bolton, like I mentioned. We should. He's going to be your new leader on the defense. Basically, Spags gave him the green dot. He deserves that. And especially as your Mike linebacker, your middle linebacker, he's going to be calling those plays. There's nothing more I would love to see too. And then Willie Gay, man, he could go everywhere around the field. I think he's good in coverage. I think he could be good on occasional blitzes. I think he's good in the backfield getting your running back. I think we had high expectations for him because we saw everything that he did in Mississippi State, and then we saw how fast he was, and we saw he could get to the quarterback, and then we all just kind of forgot a little bit of what he could provide to this team just because of his injury. And then too, last year, it wasn't a crazy year, but it was also a pretty decent year to show the potential and talent still there. But one thing we did notice last year too was he was a camp standout, and now he's showing up again in camp and basically being 1 year fully removed off the injury, where he doesn't have to be too concerned about it and just get out there and play football. Willie Gay is going to be a problem. I think he could be up there, really, I do. I think he can be, I don't want to make it sound bad or crazy, but he can be up there with Nick Bolton on the potential, and if not higher. That's how much hope I have for Willie Gay. I think these two, not even two, these 3 linebackers with Chenal as well, these can be highly rated linebackers at each of their positions, where you could be considering them top 5 to top 10 linebackers within the next 2 years. I have high potential for all 3 of these guys, but Willie Gay, he's going to bounce back this year, and he's going to surprise a lot of people, and he's going to be having his name mentioned a lot on Sundays, just how fast he goes around the field and what type of plays he does make. But with that, I'm going to close off this video, Chiefs Kingdom. Let me know what caught your eye this Friday and what basically stands out. I mentioned too, guys, there were plays being had this Friday. A lot of exciting things going on. Let me know in the comments what caught your eye. But before I do close this out, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video. As I mentioned earlier on, I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chief related. So, of course, you do not want to miss out on any of that. And with that, I'm checking out. Y'all take care.